So I'm here with Paul. We've just met up for some food again, as we do periodically. Had a good chat about life and set the universe to rights. And we thought we'd keep you in the loop with our conversation. You can join in with our thoughts. Paul and I, as some of you will know, are writing a book about mentoring, which we hope to be finished by the year 3000. And so it'd probably be helpful if we had your input, really. So
it would.
We've Paul's written a large chunk of stuff already, so hopefully we'll get there eventually in the not too distant future. But one of the things that we've been discussing that we're hoping to get into the book is the idea of the thing about program versus spontaneity and proximity of being around people and being able to respond to how people are really feeling and what's going on, and how mentoring differs to a lot of things that happen in the church, which are more program driven, aren't they? And things that you can read about and implement and copy. Yeah. But mentoring is, you can't get away with that, can you, really, so much?
Well, no, you can't. And I mean, whilst we need guidelines and principles and ways of operating, I think there's a danger that sometimes they can straitjacket us. I mean, for example, I'm in the middle of a teaching week here at Cliff College, and we've got 15 students, and Sharon Pryor and I are teaching them about various principles to do with mentoring, and then I meet with Joel, for example, and I just think, there's a need for me to, whilst I understand the sort of the process, if you like, there's still a need to sort of apply it to a particular situation, and you can't have this idea of one size fits all in mentoring. I don't think you've got to be present to the person that you're trying to work alongside and help at that particular time. So I suppose...
Yeah. I mean, maybe on the coaching side of things, you might be able to follow a bit more of a pattern. The GROW model that most of you will be familiar with, I'm sure, you could just about get away with asking some predefined questions. But even then, it's not ideal, is it? But mentoring, certainly, you have to be a lot more in the moment when listening becomes the greatest skill, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. Listening and also environment. I sometimes think that one of the key skills that we can bring to a mentoring relationship is helping to set up the right environment for the conversation to take place.
Yeah.
That's absolutely key. The place where you meet, is it conducive to having a decent conversation that's free and sort of wide-ranging, and where people feel able to be themselves and talk honestly and with authenticity about what's going on in their lives.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the crux, isn't it? That people have to feel relaxed, like this is real.
Absolutely.
And that's the difference between a program which can be repeated roads, it can be used over and over again. Yeah. Mentoring, that can't happen. It needs to be new and fresh every time. You need to be meaningful, authentic, real, in the moment with that person, listening to what they're saying and what they're not saying, and responding directly to that. Yeah. And the environment can affect whether or not someone feels that it's authentic, or whether it feels convoluted, whether it feels
contrived.
Yeah.
And I can remember the first conversation that Joel and I had, pretty much about the book, actually. He and I went on a short retreat, didn't we? In Worcestershire, where I live, and we were living in this little place out of the countryside, and we both put our walking boots on and went a trog down the country lanes, and I think that just gave me a picture of what a mentoring relationship really is, that it's about just walking beside one another, really, and just talking about life and and in a sense that that environment in itself was conducive to quite a conversation that was a bit of a catalyst, certainly really in terms of our relationship, and also a vision for a book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. And I remember we talked about place as we were doing that, and I was reminded of something that I learned on my degree course. I studied architecture. The difference between place and space, and in terms of architecture,
that's it.
We talked about how space can just be void. It can be an area, no significance, where nothing happens. But as soon as you put a park bench in the middle, it's a place because there's some significance attached to it. There's something can happen. The story can unfold there, and that country lane was just space in terms of mentoring. There was nothing. Then we chose to walk. That was a place where we could talk and share time together. And that became a place, didn't it, where mentoring can happen. And one of the skills of the mentor is how can you take a run-of-the-mill day, bumping into someone in the street or at the end of church, or where nothing's going on, and make that a significant moment for the person that you are spending time with.
Because that might be the only chance you get to have that conversation, you see. So we're kind of working on this, working and thinking, talking through these ideas. And I think this autumn we are going to spend some quality time in nailing the guts of this book, really. It's almost there. I've just feel we need to spend some time on the final chapters, which are very practical chapters, actually. The ethos of mentoring and the sort of the biblical basis and all that kind of thing. I think we've tackled that. But one of the things that I think Joel brings actually into this particularly is your ability to tell stories and your ability to earth some of the theory in practical outworkings of what's going on in people's lives. So I'm excited about it, and do hold us to it.
Yeah, pray for us. We need the help. But it's going to be good. So getting involved in the conversation and your input and feedback.
Do come back.
Stories is really helpful. And hopefully we'll get it really soon.
Yeah.
Good. God bless you all.
Wasn't too bad, was it?